Hey, what's going on, you dizzy Diplin? We got some new cards to take a look at, and I think some pretty big reveals. I feel like these have been the most hype reveals we've had in a while. How good will some of these cards be? I think there's one card that'll probably definitely be good, and it's probably not the one that we would all want to be good. But we'll start off with the one that we kind of all want to be good, but I'm not convinced is going to be like great. That's the Mega Rayquaza EX. 280 HP basic Pokemon, of course. Champion's Roar. When you play this Pokemon on from your hand onto your bench during your turn, you may use his ability. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck. Attach a basic energy you find there to this Pokemon. Shuffle the remaining cards and put them on the bottom of your deck. So that last bit of text is like really, really important for like chaining Mega Rayquazas, I feel like. Well, I guess like you only get 1 energy, so maybe it's about the same. Gives you a little bit more control over knowing where your cards are. So you could like use a Champion's Roar. If you look at the top 4 cards, 1 of them is an energy, 3 of them aren't, then you could use another Champion's Roar from Mega Rayquaza. But if you use a Champion's Roar and all 4 of the top cards of your deck are energy, you put 3 energy on the bottom of your deck, you'd want to like shuffle your deck before you use your next Champion's Roar with like a Pokemon Search card or supporter or something like that. And then its attack, Storm Emeralda for Fire, Lightning, Colorless. 50 damage times the number of fire and lightning energy attached to all of your Pokemon in play. So obviously, self-acceleration with ability, manual attachments for turn, and then there's so many different ways to get energy and play with this deck. We've got Crispin, we've got Electric, we've got, you can play a Terra Pokemon plus Glass Trumpet. There's so many ways to get more energy in play, and I think it will be enough. I think this thing will be able to swing for really high numbers really quickly. Like by turn 2, we're going to be doing like 200, 300 damage easily. But it is a mega Pokemon, so it's worth 3 prize cards, and that's kind of it. I feel like there's not going to be a ton of room in the deck to play that many more gimmicks or other options. So it is just going to be the next big beat stick deck. It's going to be like the next Raging Bolt, but it's worth 3 prize cards. And how good have decks like that been in the past? They've been good from time to time, but they're not consistently the tier 1 powerhouses like the Gardevoirs or the we got Gardevoir or Dragapult. That's the one. Of course, there was Golden Go most recently, I guess, that kind of fits that role a little bit, but the draw power that it naturally had, the fact that it was only worth 2 prize cards, and honestly, its HP of 260 was like a kind of an awkward number for a lot of decks to deal with consistently turn after turn after turn. Rayquaza, a little bit more linear than something like the Golden Go. Yeah, the depth that the Golden Go deck had, especially at the end with Solrock and Lunatone, really gave it a lot more depth to really combat a lot of more situations. I don't think the Mega Rayquaza deck is going to have that flexibility. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I think it is just kind of going to be like the next Raging Bolt, unfortunately, which isn't anything crazy. It's not like some new tier 1 powerhouse. It could be a tier 1 deck at certain points in certain formats and metagames, but it's not going to consistently be up there with the likes of the Gardevoirs and the Dragapults that we've seen most recently. And it's going to be a little bit more in and out, a good play sometimes, a bad play other times, probably more often a mid play than most. We got a Fletchling here and a Fletchinder, but of course the card we're talking about, we probably won't even use these cards because the Talonflame EX has an ability, Excited Dive. If this Pokemon is in your hand and you have a colorless Mega Evolution Pokemon EX in play, you may use this ability, put this Pokemon onto your bench, and then Claw Hunt for 2 colorless energy does 150, and then you may search your deck for up to 2 cards and put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. This card seems really, really good, actually. I really, really like this card. I'm excited to see what we can do with this. Now, the 2 colorless attack cost is a little awkward. A little bit awkward. We got Crispin, we got manual attachments. You can attack with it with ignition energy, but then we lose our energy, so I don't love the ignition energy as an option for this. I think just manually building it up, probably getting Crispin involved. And of course, we do need a colorless Mega Evolution Pokemon EX in play. It could be the Mega Rayquaza, but playing Mega Rayquaza with Talonflame feels a little weird. There's not much synergy going on there, I don't feel like, except like Talonflame's worth 2 prize cards, so this could be your early game attacker, I guess. And then you go into like Mega Ray. I guess another thing to mention about Mega Ray, besides the energy acceleration factor, there's a lot of options there, like I mentioned. Also Bouffalante, it can take advantage of things like the Bouffalante that says our colorless basic Pokemon takes 60 less damage from our opponent's attacks. This effectively boosts its HP up to 340. That might be enough to get it over the hump and make it competitive. Being weak to lightning is not great. Resistance to fighting is kind of whatever. 2 retreat costs also a little bit awkward if you were to open one of these in your active spot. Of course, we have Latias in the format. The liability in play, though, so I think there's a lot of things working against Mega Rayquaza, but it is still a solid card. Back to the Talonflame. Yeah, you could play this with like with a Kangaskhan deck, right? Open up Kangaskhan, draw with Kangaskhan, bench your Talonflame, retreat to Talonflame, Crispin to the Talonflame, Claw Hunt, get any 2 cards out of your deck. Yeah, I don't know. The Talonflame is really, really cool. It's a really cool card. I think it is definitely a more powerful card than the Rayquaza, actually. But of course, there is the limiting factor of the ability. We have to have a colorless Mega Evolution Pokemon in play. Of course, Kangaskhan seems like the obvious partner for Talonflame. And then from there, with Claw Hunt being able to search your deck for any 2 cards and having the draw power on board of the Kangaskhan, you can play a lot of different things in a deck like that. So it's going to be very cool to see how that shapes up. We have the Adventuring Lantern here. Search your deck for a basic Fire and a basic Lightning Energy card. Reveal them and put them to your hand. Cool, powerful energy search card. It doesn't seem like it works that well with Rayquaza, though, because we want our energy in our deck. We're already probably going to play a lot of energy, so we're going to naturally draw into energy anyways. Maybe there's something else in this set that is going to be some form of energy acceleration that would synergize with the Adventuring Lantern that makes Adventuring Lantern worth playing. I guess if you play like a Glass Trumpet build, you have to get your energy out of your deck into your hand, into your discard pile, then to use Glass Trumpet to get it into play. So maybe there'll be some synergy in a build like that, like Glass Trumpet, Prism Tower, Adventuring Lantern. I don't know, that's a lot going on, but it's possible. Good card nonetheless, but obviously it's limited to just the Fire and Lightning types. We got the Mega Rayquaza cap. Now, this is a funny card. A very funny card. I don't know if this will be good, but it does have a card that is very powerful for this. It's got the Delta Gift attack. It's a Delta Gift attack tool card. It is a tool card. For a colorless energy, for each of your Pokemon in play that has a Mega Rayquaza cap attached to it, search your deck for a basic energy card and attach it to that Pokemon, then shuffle your deck. So it includes the Mega Rayquaza or the Pokemon in the active spot using Delta Gift that has a Mega Rayquaza cap attached to it. Of course, the problem with this card is you need to find all these tool cards. And we do have Petrol, but that would only find us 1 Mega Rayquaza cap. But you could Petrol for Treasure Tracker. Search your deck for up to 5 Pokemon tool cards, reveal them, put them in your hand, then shuffle your deck. So not only could you get 4 Mega Rayquaza caps, you could get like an air balloon so you can retreat to the Pokemon you want to have in the active. Yeah, no, very interesting card here, the Mega Rayquaza cap. Could it fit the void or fill the void of what Turbo Energize used to do for us in the past? Maybe. Yeah, really cool card. Really interesting card. Really interesting card, the Mega Rayquaza cap. I'm excited to see what could potentially come out of this, especially because we have Treasure Tracker in the format for now. Treasure Tracker does rotate next rotation, so we won't have that long with Mega Rayquaza cap and Treasure Tracker, but we'll have a little bit of time. Something cool could come from that. I'm excited to see what comes from that. A couple supporter cards here that are pretty underwhelming. MC's Hype, draw 2 cards. If your opponent has 3 or less prize cards remaining, draw 2 more cards. Terrible card. Then we have Zinnia's Trust. Switch your active Pokemon with one of your bench Pokemon. If you do, move 1 energy from your previous active Pokemon to your new active Pokemon. Very niche mobility supporter. We have a lot of mobility supporters in the format. Just another one to choose from, so it's nothing crazy. We got Surfer, we got Kirin, we got AZ's Tranquility, another option to have here in the Zinnia's Trust. And then finally, we have the legendary Summit Stadium card that has a very powerful effect. It's a very costly card. When it knocked out by damage from an opponent's attack, both players' colorless Pokemon give up 1 less prize card. Insanely powerful effect. But to put it into play, you have to play 1 of each half of the stadium. Also, in your deck, you can play a maximum of 2 of each half. So finding them to begin with is tough. Then you have to put it in play. Then it has to stay in play for a turn where your opponent knocks out one of your colorless Pokemon. And the fact that your opponent takes that KO and they draw 1 less prize card has to matter. Or your opponent just has to have a counter stadium and they get the prize cards they want anyways. So overall, it's a cool looking card. It's a beautiful looking card. The artwork's sick. Probably going to be pretty bad. I could see in certain formats, in certain metagames in certain formats, there could be like a time where nobody is playing stadium cards, and you can kind of sneak this into a deck, take advantage of it for a tournament, and then it probably goes back to being bad after people take advantage of it. But something to think about for sure. Keep it on your mind. Don't forget about this card. There could be a moment where nobody's playing any stadium cards, and then it becomes super high value. The Legendary Summit. So, and that's it. That's all the reveals. We'll be getting a bunch more reveals soon, I'm sure. The set does release, I think actually, it might be at the end of next month. It might be a month away from the release of this set, but it feels like every week they reveal new cards leading up to the set release over in Japan. We won't be getting this set as well, for anyone who's unaware, for like 5 months. So I wouldn't spend too much time thinking about these cards. A lot of cool cards, but, you know, leave them on the back burner for now. Yeah, we're 5 months away from these cards. So with that said, let me know what you think about the cards. Is there any obvious combos I missed with Mega Rayquaza or the Talonflame EX? Let me know, comment section down below, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.